And welcome to Soul in Balance. And it's been a while since I've been on a live. I think it's like over a year. So here we are, 2024. I knew this year was going to be quite testing. I think it's going to be an amazing year in the sense of, just amazing things coming into our lives, but also just extremely testing. So that's why I wanted to create like a new video weekly on kind of what's going on with the astrology, how to best deal with what we're dealing with collectively, and just throw in little bits and pieces, just so people can, something to help people get through life at this time, So yes, I'm calling this a space. So this is my space that I would like to share with the world, because I do have Venus in the third house, Leo. So I definitely feel like I'm somebody that I need to share my heart. Third house is communication, expression, and Leo being on the stage and Venus being representing the heart. So that is why I'm making this weekly video called A Space. So first up, I want to talk about Mercury retrograde. So Mercury has just gone retrograde today, the 1st of April, and it will be going retrograde until the 25th of April. Now, this is working part and parcel with the eclipse season that we're now currently going through. And, as we can see on the world stage, things are quite difficult. Everything is very much polarized at this time, like we have the masculine, the feminine, the victim, the perpetrator. Things are just very like black and white, and people are very much opposite ends of the spectrum in many areas. And if we have a look at the world at large, look at all the wars that are happening, and people being mistreated, and we are literally powerless to do anything. There's talks about nuclear weapons and all these types of things. It just feels like humanity's being walked off a cliff, and especially to people that are awake at this time, I think we're flipping between trying to be in a state of peace and hold love and energy on the planet, so things don't propel the way that they're going, or we can be in a state of fear, where we just don't feel safe. How are we going to get through this period of time? What's going to happen in the future? How are we going to survive? And then we can go to the other end of the spectrum where it's just like we can't do anything, like there's not enough people awake to stop what's going on, so we may as well just perpetuate what's going on and just force everyone off that cliff so people wake up. So I think, we're flipping between these mindsets, or we have maybe people more in, wanting to instigate things to get things moving. Like, I think we need to understand we're going to have people that are in the trenches dealing with this stuff. Like, maybe they're being more called to be that warrior and force things along. And then there are going to be those people, got something in my eye, sorry. There are going to be those people that are still are wanting to just hold light and peace on the earth as well. So I feel like, it's a bit of a mixed bag with how we're all feeling and how we should move forward with this energy, like, I don't know, I just feel like it's a really testing time. Yes, I got it out my eye. It's just a really testing time, and if you're flipping between these three mindsets, that's fine, but I think the best thing that we need to do is to not be in fear, because that's what they want. They feed off fear, and they feed off us manifesting their desires, So I've been getting into a lot of content about how, when you can't resonate with love, when you can't hold love, or when you don't know what love is, you're not in a place to manifest, so they need us, they need us to manifest what they're wanting, the outcomes that they want. So I think it's important, whatever, position that you're taking as a human being, is to just really find your heart, no matter what spectrum that you're on. But getting back to this Mercury retrograde and eclipse So I just want to quickly go over the astrology a little bit. Like I know most people don't necessarily get into the astrology, but yeah, we have an eclipse in Aries, and that's coming up on the 8th, 9th of April. And just before that, we had the lunar eclipse in Libra. So it's kind of like the masculine and feminine dynamic, you know, and we're kind of seeing that, you know, that lunar eclipse really was very healing for women, you know, and made women step into their power and say, enough's enough. Like, I'm not tolerating this for myself anymore. You know, it's people that need to be more selfish, you know, sticking up for themselves and, you know, finding their place of this is who I am and this is what I want and this is the direction I'm going. And if you don't align with that, then you're just not meant to be on my journey, and that's fine. It's not that there's something wrong with you. It's just that these are my boundaries and this is what I expect. And I feel like that lunar eclipse was definitely very healing for women, very healing for the feminine and feminine energy. So not saying that, you know, this can also be healing for the masculine and their feminine energies as well, because we both have masculine and feminine dynamics within us. So, and then I do feel like this solar eclipse is going to be definitely more healing of the masculine, because in a way, like if we have a look at, say, the ruler of this Aries solar eclipse, that's Mars. Mars is next to Saturn. Saturn is the taskmaster. Saturn is the teacher. Saturn is karma. Saturn is the police officer. It's the government. It's rules and restrictions, you know? And it's like Mars is coming up to Saturn saying, this is what I want. This is the direction I want to go. And Saturn's pretty much just like, no, show me your credentials. What have you learnt? What have you mastered? And this is what you need to do. So sorry, you can't go. So it's like, it's pretty much just saying to the masculine, are you in integrity in the direction you want to go? You know, are you being the master of your universe and owning I am in a healthy way, not in a toxic, dysfunctional, masculine way, you know, where you're manipulating, where you're taking advantage of people, where you're being abusive. But then, you know, it does all then come back to this this solar eclipse that's conjunct Chiron, you know, which is going to be bringing up our wounding, maybe wounding that we can finally overcome and not let us take hold of our lives. You know, a lot of us are operating from a wounded sense, and we just, you know, manipulate or do whatever we can just to get our needs met, not always consciously, it can be subconsciously. You know, we're doing these things just to survive. And I think, you know, it's big highlight now for the masculine, which is, are you acting in integrity in the direction that you're going? You know, are you owning who you really are? Not just the old programming and the old wounding. It's like, who are you really? You know, and if you want to move forward, you need to get into integrity. So I just feel like, you know, this is going to be a very healing time for masculine and feminine, and people that haven't had good boundaries, are very selfless, codependent, and even, you know, very absorbing of people's energy. This is a time for you to be selfish. Like, it really is a time to just be like, no, I'm choosing me. This is what I want, and this is the direction I'm going. And I don't care if I'm not loved anymore. I don't care if I'm not part of the group. I don't care if everybody else is going the opposite direction. This is the direction I'm going, because this is what's best for me. I'm breaking out of that old mold that I was put into in childhood or past lives or whatever, growing up, or whatever the situation has been. So I just feel like it's just going to be testing solar eclipse and, you know, ending of this eclipse portal, but very needed, very, very needed. And I feel like April is going to be one of the biggest months of this year. And just going with this eclipse, so we also, like I said just before, it's conjunct Chiron, is where we're wounded. It's also going to be it's going to be Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, Mars-Saturn conjunction, which I also mentioned, and Venus-Neptune conjunction. And Venus is going to be sextiling Pluto, and Saturn and Mars is going to be sextiling Uranus and Jupiter. Like, I don't want to get too much into the astro jargon, because not everybody's into that. But yeah, I just feel like it's really important that we understand that it's very much these masculine and feminine dynamics, you know, where we need to heal that within ourselves. And yeah, what else did I want to say? There's also a lot of like anger and frustration at the moment. Like, we're dealing with so much, you know, and we're dealing with so much dissatisfaction. And this is happening so we don't have anything to escape to. You know, the usual things that we would be able to escape to, whether it's, you know, people, places, things, substances, whatever the hell it is, even if it's sleep. You know, we're not getting any satisfaction in the things that we would usually do. So we really have a look at what the problems are, you know, like this Chiron conjunct this solar eclipse. It's like, what are the real core issues? You know, we can't hide with all these extra things fluffing things up for us. So everybody's quite frustrated. People have gone through so much. There's so much crappy energy playing out on the world stage. So everybody's like just really, really suffering. And so, you know, there's a lot of anger and frustration. And I think we need to have some compassion and understanding for others, especially ourselves, and just think, you know, if somebody's lashing out at us, like, they must be feeling really, really shit within themselves to do that, because you can only treat people how you treat yourself. So I just think having compassion with people if they're lashing out at you or you're seeing things happening, and just not take it personally, because it's not about you. And I know it's really easy to be triggered and things like that, but yeah, just keep it in mind that yeah, things are quite triggering at this time. Now, I was thinking about doing a card, or maybe a few, and I know everybody wants to know about love and romance and stuff like that, because, you know, it is the time of dealing with relationship stuff. I did get 2 cards when I was thinking about this today, which was being fair and yin. Now, yeah, like I said before, like, it's just being understanding. Even if a relationship isn't going to work, even if somebody can't meet you at the needs you need because they can't meet themselves there, that's okay. And relationships might have to end and you might have to go your separate ways. It doesn't mean you might not meet up in the future. It just means for right now you're not aligning, and that's okay. And, you know, and to be fair, you know, and be fair, and that's okay. You might be heartbroken, you might have to go through a breakup or deal with betrayals or whatever it is, but just be fair and just, I don't know, forgive. I think it's really important, and just focus on the direction that you need to go. And, you know, just clarifying that again with yin, like, I know this kind of brings up the, especially because, like, if you can see there's like scales, kind of does then bring up this lunar eclipse that we had a couple of weeks ago. But that is also involved. Like, we need to go to the polarity point of whatever something is, or meet in the middle. So we do need to also bring that Libran dynamic into the direction we're going with the solar eclipse in Aries. So I just feel like we need to be fair, we need to be understanding, and sometimes it's just like, all right, cool, I understand, we can't go any further together. I love you, you know I love you, but it might need to end. So that's kind of how I feel with relationships, and also don't make any rush decisions. I think, like, you know, I have some friends that are going through breakups right now and nothing's certain. So just wait for the dust to settle, see what happens. Like, you know, there's so much healing and transformation going on, so we don't actually know how somebody could rapidly heal something. You know, I know even within myself, I feel like I've just overcome so much old fear and doubt and lack of self-love and, you know, faith in myself, just even over the last week. So don't, you know, hold space for people to really grow during this time. Even if something is up in the air and you don't know what's going to happen, just wait till the dust settles. You don't need to have any urgent breakaways. That might be needed. There might be definitely tower moments for everybody, because we do have that Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, and that will be getting exact on the 24th of April. But all in all, I just think it's really important that we just hold space, we just be fair, and we just focus on ourselves and our own direction, and what's meant to be will be. But I'm going to get a card for the week. Hi Greg, how you going? I'm going to get a card for the week of just something we can focus on. So if life gets hard and we don't know how to cope, or just something just to bring some focus. Oh God. too many fell out then. I'll just get something else maybe. Here we go. Start something new. Flame tree. Yes, exactly. Like what I'm doing with this video series. Yeah, start something new. Start something new, like a hobby or something that really means something to you. And don't worry about what anyone thinks and who's watching, because at the moment, people don't care. You know, create something for you. Like, just put it out there for you, for your desires, for your passion, for your, you know, creativity. Just do something and do it from a place of, this is a journey. You know, not just, I've got to master something and it's got to be perfect right away. Otherwise, I'm going to be judged, or I'm going to judge myself, and it's not worth putting out if it's not perfect, because that's just rubbish. So I just feel like start something new. Like, so if you're struggling this week and you're not in a good space, think of something that you can create. Think of something that you're passionate about. Think of something that you're being pushed to do. Like even me doing this video today and doing this series of A-Space, doing a video once a week just to help the collective. Yeah, I really felt pushed to do it. So just think of something that you're really being pushed to do from a good place, like from your heart. And I feel like the universe will support you. The universe will kind of, you know, give you that success, because it's coming from your heart. It's coming from a place of wanting to help others. So yes, I think that's pretty much it for me. Yeah, so it's just definitely a time of breaking out of the old, needing to connect to the inner warrior. You know, like if we have a look even what's going on our world stage, it's like we really are kind of needing to be strong and, you know, finding that inner warrior and finding our place in this world to make changes. You know, like I said, whether it's you're in the trenches or whether it's you're holding space or, you know, whatever it is, whether it's you're sharing knowledge or supporting people, whatever it is. But yeah, that's about it really. But I hope you guys have a great week, and I'll see you next week. And if there's anything you'd like me to talk about in next week's video, please put it in the comments. I'm happy to, you know, talk about my perspective or give advice on anything that you've got going on. But yeah, all the best for this week. Bye.